Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, November 23rd, 2025, for our junior students ages 9 to 11. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Acts chapter 17, verses 1 through 4, verses 10 through 12, verses 22 through 25, and then verse 28. The title of today's story, A Courageous Worker. "There was trouble on the school bus today, Mama," said Brad as he put his books down on the table. "What kind of trouble?" asked Brad's mother. Everyone was noisy, and two boys started throwing things at the girls. One of the girls called them a name. Mr. Murphy was driving, and he couldn't make them stop. We were on the expressway, so we couldn't stop the bus because of the traffic, Brad told his mother. "What were you doing, Brad?" Mrs. Johnson asked. "I stood up and told them to stop, but some of the boys said they would get me after school. Mr. Murphy told the kids to listen to me." "I'm proud of you, Brad, because you spoke out for what you knew was right. It takes courage to do this in the middle of trouble," she said. "Have you ever had to speak to a group that didn't want to listen?" Why did Brad's mother say it took courage for him to speak up? Today's lesson tells us about Paul and Silas preaching the good news to people in Thessalonica. Read and find out what trouble Paul and Silas ran into for doing what God had sent them to do. Acts chapter 17, verses 1 through 4, verses 10 through 12, verses 22 through 25, and then verse 28. Now when they had passed through Amphipolis and Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Jews. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the Scriptures, opening and alleging that Christ must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Jesus whom I preach unto you is Christ. And some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas, and of the devout Greeks a great multitude, and of the chief women not a few. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so. Therefore many of them believed, also of honorable women which were Greeks, and of men not a few. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars' hill, and said, "Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of our own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Did the trouble from the mob stop Paul, Silas, and Timothy from doing missionary work? God had called these men to spread the message of Jesus Christ, and they knew that God was with them, even in the middle of trouble. These men had courage. Ask God to give you the courage to speak out for what is right and to live for Jesus. The memory verse, "For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship. Him declare I unto you." And that's Acts chapter 17, verse 23. Remember Brad and our What's It All About story? Do you think he made the right choice? What do you think you would have done if you had been on the bus with Brad? Sometimes when we are faced with troubles, it's hard to do the right thing. Pray and ask God to give you the strength and courage to make the right choices. On a sheet of paper, think about sometimes you have seen trouble happening. And how did you respond? Now write down what you would do differently as a result of reading this lesson or hearing this lesson. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.